Do you want to better understand NSQIP odds ratios, but you don't have the time or the patience to do the research and reading? Maybe you were given some NSQIP performance data from the quality department, and you're wondering, is that number good or bad? Well, you've come to the right place. Hi, and welcome to Quality Nurse Central. In today's video, you'll learn what you need to know to make sense of and have better use for NSQIP odds ratios. Before we dive in, please help this channel grow by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our new videos. NSQIP stands for National Surgical Quality Improvement Program. It is a respected and well-established program by the American College of Surgeons. It collects surgical data submitted by participating sites to provide a risk-adjusted benchmark that compares a facility's performance against the performance of the national population. That benchmark comparison is accomplished through the use of an odds ratio, which NSQIP calls a hospital's quality metric. An odds ratio compares the odds, or likelihood of an event happening, of a target group in the numerator to the odds of a comparison group in the denominator. For each outcome model, for example, all cases surgical site infection, there is a corresponding hospital quality metric, or odds ratio, that compares the hospital performance in the numerator to the national population performance in the denominator. That ratio is represented by a number that has 2 decimal places. Here, we're showing an example of what that looks like. But what does that number mean, and what does the value signify? To visualize this comparison, imagine a seesaw. We'll say that the numerator is on the left and represents the hospital. This value represents its risk-adjusted performance, where NSQIP gives credit to hospitals that perform higher-risk procedures on sicker patients. We'll assign the denominator on the right, and that represents the performance of the NSQIP population. The NSQIP population is commonly referred to as the average NSQIP hospital. When both sides are equal and weigh the same, the seesaw is balanced and horizontal. The ratio of these two numbers would equal 1.00. There are 2 other possible scenarios. One is when the numerator is larger, making the ratio greater than 1. How much greater than 1 depends on how much larger the numerator is. The other scenario is when the numerator is smaller, making the ratio less than 1. How much smaller than 1 depends on how much smaller the numerator is. Of the 3 scenarios described, you can probably guess that every facility's goal is to have their odds of a negative event less than the odds of the average NSQIP hospital, or an odds ratio less than 1. Let's look at some examples. Suppose that the population odds for a particular model is 0.066, and the facility odds are also 0.066. When the odds are the same, the ratio would equal 1 because the numerator and denominator have the same value, and the seesaw is balanced. What if another facility has smaller odds of an event happening, say 0.052? That ratio would be less than 1 at 0.79. With the numerator smaller than the denominator, the seesaw shifts towards less than 1. Suppose that another facility has higher odds of an event happening, say 0.125. That ratio would be higher than 1 at 1.88. With the numerator larger than the denominator, the seesaw shifts towards greater than 1. These 3 scenarios show how NSQIP compares a facility's odds of an event happening to that of the average NSQIP hospital. So let's look at each scenario a little closer and explore the language used to describe each situation. In the first scenario, the odds at both the facility and in the NSQIP population are the same or about the same. the seesaw is balanced and the odds ratio is 1 or very close to that. What this means is that an event is equally likely to happen at the facility as in the average NSQIP hospital. This is considered average performance or as expected performance. In the second scenario, we're looking at a site that has lower odds than the NSQIP population. Because the NSQIP population odds are higher than the facility's odds, the seesaw shifts towards an odds ratio that is less than 1. What this means is that an event is less likely to happen at the facility than at the average NSQIP hospital. The facility is considered performing better than expected, and the smaller the odds ratio, the better the performance. In the third scenario, we're looking at odds that are higher at the facility than in the NSQIP population. With higher facility odds, the seesaw shifts towards an odds ratio higher than 1. What this means is that an event is more likely to happen at the facility than at the average NSQIP hospital. The facility is considered performing worse than expected. The larger the odds ratio, the worse the performance. How much worse, you may ask? Well, in this example, an odds ratio of 1.88 indicates that odds at the facility are 1.88 times that of the NSQIP population, or almost double the odds of the average NSQIP hospital. Now imagine that all participating hospitals get their chance to sit on that seesaw. Hospitals with the best performance have the smallest odds, and those with the worst performance have the largest odds. When compared to the NSQIP population, all participating sites are assigned an odds ratio based on their performance and risk adjustment. A NSQIP odds ratio is typically paired with a performance rating such as exemplary, as expected, or needs improvement. That rating comes from NSQIP lining up sites based on their performance from best to worst and splitting them into quartiles. Quartile 1 contains the top 1 to 25th percentile and is considered exemplary. Quartile 4 contains the bottom 76 to 100th percentile and is considered needs improvement. And quartiles 2 and 3, the two quartiles in the middle, comprising the 26th to 75th percentile, are considered as expected performance. You should also note that as you approach the 50th percentile in the middle, you will find the performance where both sides of the seesaw balance out to give an odds ratio of 1. Facilities want to be better than average and will aim to be in the first two quartiles. Some sites don't settle for average and will look at the cutoff for exemplary or the 25th percentile odds ratio to use as a performance target. So now you have what you need to interpret NSQIP odds ratios. Celebrate your exemplary performance and focus on your needs improvement outcomes when planning your performance improvement activities. Did you find this video useful? Please let us know in the comments. Feel free to ask questions or suggest future topics as well. Please help this channel grow by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Be sure to also hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our new videos. And while you're here, why not watch another video? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.